Hello and welcome to the G3 Pulse podcast. Joining me today is Justin Anastasi, CEO of VentureMax Group. Justin, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure.
So, Justin, this is the first time we've had the opportunity to sit and have a chat. So could you tell me a bit more about yourself and VentureMax Group?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Justin. I'm the CEO of VentureMax Group. I'd say a bit of a quick snapshot as to my background, I suppose, is I'd say it's quite diverse. I've been in the industry now for more than a decade, primarily in human resources, then C-level and executive management and all that encompasses. And of course, entrepreneurship, something I've been doing for some time. That's obviously led me to VentureMax. VentureMax has been around since 2016, predominantly within the digital marketing space and vendor management. Now we're taking it to the next level and really starting to invest in early stage businesses, primarily within the iGaming sector, and leveraging our expertise towards these investments, and obviously utilizing our network to help build up the industry of tomorrow.
So with investment, you can invest in any industry and any sector. Why specialize in iGaming? What trajectory have you identified specifically within that sector that makes the industry appealing to invest in?
It's a good question. I think the iGaming industry has always been dynamic and very much one that's always evolving. I think our initial success was rooted in performance marketing and digital media. And that was at a time when it was still very much emerging. So we've recognized that, and we decided to really focus on that. Over time, I think that's been proven to be correct. And I think even now, the industry continues to evolve in that direction, but more so, I think there's a lot of opportunities still left in the industry. And a lot of that's been created by the technical or tech advancements, things like AI, machine learning, whatever you want to call it, blockchain, and even VR, I think is all up there. So I think that's part of what's making it so appealing even now.
And who makes up the team, and how would you say that their collective experiences positioning VentureMax to, I've seen on your website, to redefine the landscape of digital entertainment and technology? How do you do that as an investment company?
Yeah, I think a big part of that, of course, revolves around your team. For us, it's really about composing that team of people who are seasoned within their respective fields. So we have some great minds that I have the pleasure of being able to work with. So we've got Aiden, who's the group CFO, and he brings over 2 decades of financial leadership. We've got Pierre Massoud, who's coming more from a commercial background. He's got an extensive background in sales, account management, and casino operations. I think that really helps to enrich our strategic capabilities. And of course, last but not least, at the C level, we've also got Kel Knudsen, who's focusing very much on the investment side of the business, who's had significant accomplishments in operational and financial management within the sector for some time now. So I think our collective experience, ranging from finance, tech, corporate services, and beyond, I think positions us quite uniquely to drive innovation and set that new standard for the industry tomorrow.
And how would you describe your investment strategy ethos, and what would you say the principles are that define how you operate and conduct yourself?
I'd say our strategy is proactive and focused on anything that can we feel at that time can really be disruptive. So we look at early stage businesses that have high growth potential and have a strong footing. So they're very, very clear on what their vision, their mission is, and how they're going to really deliver this. I think our principles are quite rooted in that, in innovation, adaptability, and also having a deep understanding of the market and the dynamics that we see currently, and also that we might see in the future. So for us, I think long-term support and strategic guidance is a priority. It helps us to ensure that our investments, can go the distance. But if I had to summarize, I'd say empowering entrepreneurs to bring their groundbreaking ideas, and they have to be groundbreaking. We do see a lot of things, nothing really sort of out of the box, I would say. So redefining what we already know and what we already do. So I think for us, it's really important to be able to identify and empower those entrepreneurs with those groundbreaking ideas and support them through every stage of the journey.
And does it tend to be a case that they approach you, say a promising startup? Do they come to you, or do you go to them? And would you say there's some kind of checklist or set criteria, or is it just a groundbreaking idea and great people, or is there a lot more to it than that? Is there an element of gut instinct from that C-level team that you mentioned when handling the money of high net worth individuals?
Yeah, I think this is a very interesting question. I mean, to be fair, it has to be a little bit of both. I think once you've really established a solid brand for yourself and people recognize you, especially within that VC or investment sort of space, they tend to come to you a lot more. But with that, actually, there is a lot of negatives, which means you tend to receive a lot of things that don't really fit what you're looking for. So I think identifying promising startups really is a bit of a combination for us between structured criteria, but also, as you rightly pointed out, a bit of an intuitive judgment. So for us, we look for ventures that have strong leadership, and we know that from what they've presented us, these are scalable models and that have capitalized on significant market opportunities. I think this is key. And within that, we also want to understand and see that these guys have really gone through things like data, due diligence. For us, that obviously plays a crucial role. But there's also another element, which is gut instincts, especially when it comes to assessing the passion, the vision of these founders and their staying power. How long do we think that they can really sustain this business and its trajectory?
So whilst every case study is different, we've discussed just there about how you identify a business. What about nurturing them from small to medium-sized businesses to achieve kind of impactful market presence?
I think it's really about having a multifaceted approach, in my opinion. I think we focus for us more on providing a comprehensive suite of support, from strategic planning and financial investment, but also to the overall industry expertise that we offer. I mean, those everyday scenarios that we've all gone through. I think, even sometimes, we've made mistakes, and so have the people around us and the people in our teams, and being able to get those learnings without having to go through them ourselves also adds value, especially to up and coming entrepreneurs. So we encourage a culture of innovation, of course, and I think even when it comes to compliance, that having to be very agile, but also prioritizing the customer is super important for us, and it plays quite a critical aspect of our strategy. But over and above that, I'd say leveraging data and those insights is, of course, super important, and using that to drive decision making to stay ahead of the technology and technological trends. I think aside from the basics, I think is very important to gain a competitive edge and a solid market presence.
And looking at the industry as a whole, would you say there are any macroeconomic trends that you believe will or have had a great impact on investment decisions within the iGaming sector? I mean, we've seen so many M&A deals over the last, few years since post-PASPA really, but could we see fewer deals being announced or political upheaval? We've seen recent elections in the UK, in France. We've got the presidential election next year. Could that have an effect on the industry?
I think macroeconomic trends and regulatory change, as well as economic fluctuations, will always have an impact in some way, shape, or form. So I think really being able to understand that and be agile, I think is super important. But I think the industry has proven to be quite adaptable in those situations. So it's really adapted quite well to new regulations, although it is challenging because obviously you don't always know what to expect. But I think the ability to adapt is super critical. And I think we're lucky. I think a lot of us are familiar with the different regulatory frameworks, and Malta has been quite a bit of a champion, I would say, in that aspect. But I think for me, it also presents opportunities for strategic investment partnerships. I think a lot of companies are looking for that stability then in those situations, and means and ways to overcome that landscape. So for us, our focus remains on identifying those businesses and helping them to thrive throughout those dynamics, or utilizing what they've already got in terms of their business to help us navigate them in a more sort of speedy manner.
And are there any particular technologies or markets that you're on the lookout for? So we're speaking internally earlier today, as everybody is talking about Brazil, talking about Latin America, a bit about Africa. Are those emerging markets something of interest to you, or are you truly global? Or is there maybe a preference, given the fact that you're based in Malta, to kind of go with Maltese companies? Just a kind of a general gist of what you see shaping iGaming's future when it comes to trends, technologies, and markets.
I mean, I think there's definitely a lot going on. Of course, you can see that the market is definitely the global market is regulating. We're seeing a lot more of that, of course. Finland being the most recent one. We're also seeing a lot of different emphasis on various new licenses when it comes to game. But I think the industry as a whole will probably be shaped a lot more by advancements in AI, blockchain, and VR. I think these technologies will probably advance the gaming experience. They'll probably improve security, streamline operations, and enable financial scalability. I mean, obviously, when you mention things like Latin America, I mean, that's particularly exciting. I think there's a lot of developments there in terms of their regulatory frameworks, and they've definitely got a growing appetite for gaming. So I think that's definitely a one to watch, although it's one I've been watching for a while. And I'd say probably to add to that, we'd probably see a lot more focus on more personalized user experiences. I think that's definitely something that we're going to see defining the industry of tomorrow.
And final one, just anything that's in the pipeline for the portfolio. I know that you perhaps can't go into too much detail, but maybe a general outline of what's upcoming for VentureMax Group.
Yes, I can give you a bit of insight there. Essentially, what we're doing is we're really developing our exciting project, which is going to be a new development studio when it comes to games. So we'll be really introducing a lot of innovative gaming content there, and also we'll begin to really diversify our portfolio within Termedia, and really start to introduce more innovative marketing or performance marketing brands. But we're also exploring, new verticals within the finance and fintech space. So I'd say we should expect to see some major announcements in the weeks to follow, as well as on all those points, as well as the new talent joining our ranks to help support them.
And will you be attending any of the upcoming exhibitions, be that IGB Live or SBC Lisbon, G2E Vegas?
Yes. In fact, I will be attending Vegas, and I'll also be going to IGB. In fact, I think I leave on Monday to go to that, and I'll be judging their launch pad. One of the judges on the launch pad piece will be looking at these new entrepreneurs and ideas as they look for investment within their business. So I'm quite excited about that, actually. So I will be there.
Excellent. Well, Justin, thank you very much. Great to chat. And I look forward to speaking to you perhaps in person next week, and if not, at another exhibition upcoming.
Look forward to it, and thanks for having me again.
Cheers, Justin. Thank you.
See you. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you want to watch more, why not subscribe to our channel somewhere here.